Last time on Dynasty 2 with the Colbys.
Your wife?
That's right. Mrs. Miles Colby. Easy, Jeff. I don't like being pushed around.
Well, you're gonna like this even less. The girl you just married happens to be my ex-wife, Fallon Carrington Colby.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I know what you're thinking. Your son has married the Carrington heiress.
Miles has married the daughter of one of the most powerful men in this country.
Randall, this is Blake Carrington.
Hello, I've heard so much about you, Mr. Carrington. I'm Randall Colby. Then why do I feel so scared? And why is everybody staring at me as if I'm some kind of freak?
You look wonderful, Francesca.
So formal. You used to call me Mother.
Well, it's been such a long time, somehow it just doesn't seem appropriate.
You said you could ship my oil. Do you need Zach Powers to do it for you?
I keep my promises. Our agreement stands. I don't deal with men like Zach Powers.
I subscribe to all the worst scandal sheets. How could I not recognize Zachary Powers, the notorious womanizer?
Miles, you can call her Randall all you like. But the fact is, she's Fallon Carrington. What's going to happen to you when she gets her memory back? Brace yourself. You may have to fight Jeff as well.
What the hell are you doing?
Giving you an indication, cousin, of what to expect if you ever lay your hands on my wife again.
Sorry to take you away from your family on Thanksgiving.
What's the news?
Dr. Hadley just cabled his report from London. I'm afraid he's confirmed my diagnosis, Jason.
Funny thing is, I never felt better in my life. I was sure that second opinion did.
Unfortunately, it's worse than we thought.
6 months. Any chance this fella could be wrong?
He's tops in his field. I'm sorry, Jason.
What about that other specialist?
Dr. Bollinger? He's still in Switzerland. I wouldn't get my hopes up. Hadley was his teacher.
Damnedest thing. I walk into your office for a routine checkup and walk out with a year to live. Now, even that seems like a luxury. So many things I never got finished. So many things I never got said. Well, I'd better get a move on. Morris? And on this Thanksgiving Day, dear Lord, we give special thanks that we are gathered together here under one roof again. One family.
Amen.
To the future. The family. You are my future.
I'd like to give special thanks, too, for the newest member of this family, my beautiful wife. Let's all drink to Mrs. Miles Colby.
Randall.
Now that we've toasted Thanksgiving.
Not totally. To Miles and Randall, we have a wedding gift for you.
Darling.
It's a little late, but you caught us unprepared.
Sable, we can talk about this later.
Please, Jason. I'm going to burst. Good news is meant to be shared. Miles, your father is giving you 10% of Colby Enterprises.
Ooh, all right, Miles. Great, fantastic. Miles, congratulations.
With our blessings.
Mother. Dad. What can I say? How many millions is that?
Miles.
The money's not the point, son. It stands for a good part of my life and all of my love.
Our love, darling. And that's not all. As of right now, your father is making you his executive assistant.
Way to go, Miles. Going.
Of course, an equal share will go to both of our daughters on the occasion of their marriages.
Provided we do marry, right, Daddy?
And provided he's the right choice. Isn't that so, Daddy?
Now, there are no strings, but a wedding gift is a wedding gift.
Well, I love you all, but I do have a date.
This dinner isn't over.
Mommy, darling, you know I never have dessert. Rich is thin, your motto. Or is it rich is beautiful? I can't remember.
Sean again?
Uh-huh. I'm working on my 10%.
Now, in that case, isn't it time we got to know him?
Bring him around, Daddy, one of these days. Ta-ta.
Honestly, that child.
I think she's adorable.
You're lucky you only had one to contend with.
Not even one. By the time I was tall enough to be a problem, I was shipped off to Denver. Out of sight, out of mind.
Will you take dessert now, sir?
Why don't we have coffee and dessert on the terrace?
If you'll excuse me, I think I'll pass on dessert, too.
Your executive assistant. Why now, all of a sudden?
Now, there's no time like the present. You and Jeff are going to be running Colby Enterprises someday. Better start learning now. Frankie. Kids can be cruel, is it? You all right?
I'm fine. Really, I am.
Midnight swim? How's the water?
Well, the water's fine. Don't ask about the swimmer.
It's a rough situation, isn't it? Can imagine how you must feel.
Can you really?
Oh, Jeff, there's no use in torturing yourself like this. What is. Just got to accept that.
I can't. Plain and simple.
Look, I'm very fond of you, Jeff. But Miles is my brother, my twin brother, and there's a strange bond between twins. Powerful. What one feels, the other picks up. And, I feel for Miles right now. I know how much he loves Fallon.
I love her, too. But I think I have a prior claim.
Claim? My God, Jeff, you can't claim love. You can't force it. Demand it as a right. It's there, or it isn't.
Fallon may not remember it, but I know she loves me.
Maybe once, yes. Today, in this time, in this place, she's in love with Miles.
No.
Yes. You can see it in her eyes every time she looks at him. I'm telling you, Jeff, Fallon belongs to Miles now. Forget her.
Monica, you might as well tell me to stop breathing. I want Fallon back, and I'm going to get her back. My Miles can go to hell.
Miles?
The one and only.
Darling, I was just wondering. Your cousin Jeff seems so nice. Why don't you like him?
Nothing major. It goes back to when we were kids. Now let's forget about Jeff.
Well, it's not so easy. I mean, we're all under the same roof. Sometimes I get the feeling he really could use some friends.
Good. Then let him go out and make some. You have something a lot more important to worry about, Mrs. Colby. Like packing.
Packing?
That's right, for our honeymoon. I just had the best idea. I'm taking my baby to Hawaii tonight.
Tonight?
That's right. While everyone's asleep, you and I are gonna ease out of here without any fuss. By tomorrow morning, the newlyweds will be snuggling in a grass hut where no one can find us.
Miles, we can't do that.
Why not?
Because you've got responsibilities, your new job.
To hell with my new job. I need to be alone with my new bride.
Darling, your new bride is finally beginning to feel as if she might belong somewhere.
You belong with me. You don't need anybody else.
Please, Miles. Your wonderful family, this beautiful home, I'd hate to have to leave that so soon.
Randall, come on.
Please. Why can't we have the honeymoon right here?
Here, Randall?
Please.
When you look at me like that, what can I say?
We have got to stop meeting like this.
I couldn't sleep, so I got some cookies and a glass of warm milk.
Oh, milk? Ugh. We can do a lot better than that. To the good old days.
The good old days.
When your husband died last year, that must have been a terrible shock.
Yes. One moment he was my future, and the next, my past.
I'm sorry.
It was a good second marriage. Maybe not ideal by other people's standards, but we enjoyed each other.
You never had any children.
With Peter in the diplomatic service, London, Rome, Singapore, you name it. We never settled long enough to even think about starting a family.
Why did you always avoid me?
Avoid you?
Come on, Frankie. Every time I found myself in a city where your husband was posted, I phoned you just to say hello. You never called me back. Not once. Now, you can't tell me all those messages got lost.
I won't even try.
Why then? It was a long time ago, Frankie. I thought we could have still been friends.
The past never changes. You can pretend, but it's always there to haunt you.
You have nothing to be ashamed of.
Even so, it's still too painful. Maybe in time.
Time is my enemy.
Jason, can't you see what this is doing to me? Why do you think I never returned any of your calls? Why do you think I stayed away all those years?
Francesca, don't go. Please.
Jason, if I'm going to go on staying here...
I'm sorry. It's the last thing I want to upset you.
Please, let's bury the past. Concentrate on the future. Promise me.
If that's what you really want.
That's what I want.
To the future, then.
Shame on you two. Imagine having a party and forgetting to invite me. Miles, this is no time to play by the rules.
Mother, stay out of my marriage, please. Randall and I will work out our own timetable.
I'm just saying, the sooner the better.
Mother.
Darling, you know how much I love you. I can't just stand silently by when your future's at stake. Jeff's made it pretty clear what he's really up to. You should look after your interests.
Drop it, will you, please? I can take care of Jeff my own way.
Can you imagine what might happen if Randall remembers who she is? If she remembers that she was married to Jeff and gave birth to their child.
They were divorced, remember?
And on the point of remarrying.
You don't seem to understand. Randall and I are deeply in love. Deeply. We're totally committed to one another. Nothing, no one is going to change that.
Darling, I know that you believe that with all your heart, but there is no way that if...
Randall.
Good morning, Randall. Good morning, sir.
I missed you. What have you been up to?
I was looking at all your polo trophies. Do you really win that many?
You promised not to tell. I only rent them. Look, I've got to get to the office. I've got to change and everything. Why don't you meet me for lunch? We'll go buy you a brand new automobile right after.
Oh, no, you don't. Today she's mine. I'm going to take your bride shopping.
Since when?
Since right now.
Well, she has to have a car.
You can pick up a car some other time. This girl needs clothes. I'm going to take her to the Rodeo collection. Randall?
Well, that's very sweet of you, Sable. Miles?
Don't deny me the pleasure of getting to know my new daughter-in-law. I am determined we're going to be very close.
Meet me for lunch, though.
Not today. Today is strictly ladies' day. Jeff! Jeff!
Jeff? 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 Jeff, wait a minute. Jeff!
Morning.
I've come all this way to see you, and we haven't had 1 minute alone.
Sorry, but I'm late for an appointment.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were trying to avoid me.
Well, you'll have to forgive me, but I've had a lot on my mind lately.
I understand. Connie explained last night what you've been going through with Fallon. I want you to know if you need any help, you've got a friend.
Thanks. But I'm going to have to deal with this on my own.
25 years is a long time, I know. But we've got to start someplace if we're ever going to bridge that gap.
Maybe if you stuck around, that gap wouldn't exist.
Don't you think I wanted to? Don't you think I had my reasons? Sometimes things aren't that simple.
Well, to a kid, they are. Now, I'll admit you sent the proper gift at the proper time, but gifts are a poor substitute for a mother. You know what I used to tell my friends when I was in school growing up? I used to tell them you were dead.
Jeff.
And now suddenly, you've come back in my life at a time that I don't need you. And you know what's ironic? The one person I do need is harder to reach than you've ever been. Listen, thanks for the offer, but you're a little late.
I'd feel better about the future if I could fill in the blank spaces.
Eventually you will. In the meantime, what could fill the future more happily than a baby? Baby? Yes, a baby, Randall. Why wait? You have a loving husband, plenty of money. Believe me, There is nothing more rewarding than having a child. Nothing has given me greater happiness than motherhood. And it would bring you and Miles even closer.
Sable, I do want children. But I don't think I should risk having a baby now. What if there are problems? Medical problems? Things from my past?
My dear sweet Randall, take it from me, you have nothing to worry about. You are intelligent and well-bred. It's written all over you. It's in your eyes, your face, the way you speak, carry yourself. Trust me. You come from quality, my angel.
Quality or not, it could be dangerous.
Oh, that's ridiculous. A child by you and Miles would have everything.
Look, I know you mean well, and I'm very grateful, but...
No buts about it. Take my word for it. A child is the answer, and as soon as possible.
I'm sorry, Sable, but I'm not gonna have a baby. Not until I find out who its mother is.
Morning, Jason. Hello, Zach. The Maritime Commissions? Let me guess what you're here for. Harbor permits.
Very intuitive. You seem to have an inside track in all my affairs.
No, actually, I was thinking about you as I drove down. No? Your name, Jason, like the Greek hero. He went after a fabulous treasure, too, the Golden Fleece. Not unlike Jason Colby, huh?
I didn't know you were so well versed in Greek mythology.
My first wife was a Greek. Surely you know that.
Well, you get a great deal of coverage in the press, Zach, but I'm afraid I don't read every word.
We've got a lot in common, you and I. Both men from simple backgrounds. You come from timber country, don't you? Right here in California. I was born in Spain, brought up on the sea. My father was a fisherman. Zacharias. Zacharias to you. Salvador Zacharias. But I'm sure that name doesn't mean anything to you.
Fascinating. But we're both busy men. I'll see you around, Zach.
Papa. Papa. Oh, Papa.
You can count on that. Jason Colby.
Are you sure you're all right, Randall? I'm just feeling a little drained. I think I'll lie down for a bit.
Randall, can I see you for a moment?
I'm afraid I wore her out. Anyway, I'd like a word with you myself. This is a terrible predicament for you, Jeff. Well, for all of us. Please believe me when I say I sympathize fully.
That's very kind of you, Sable.
It's an impossible situation. And as I see it, an unresolvable one, don't you think?
Not necessarily. When Fallon gets her memory back.
Ah, I was afraid you were going to say that. Jeff, I won't mince words. I like you, but I love my family. I love my son.
What are you trying to say?
Well, you being here is, well, let's face it, disruptive. This terrible tension in my home, it can't go on.
You want me to leave?
I am appealing to your sense of decency to do the right thing.
When you put it that way.
Jeff, I'm not your enemy, believe me. But if you stay here, under the same roof, you'll end up destroying 3 lives. Surely you see that.
Let's get one thing straight, Sable. I'm not giving up on Fallon, whether I stay in this house or not. But if you want me to leave...
McAllister. Jason Colby.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Colby. Excuse the fish.
I liked your act. You're good with those animals.
Thanks. It's a lot of fun. Also pays the bills.
Oh, that's right. You're the one with the degree in marine biology.
Guess Bliss told you a little bit about me then.
A little. I figured it was time to meet this Sean McAllister my daughter's been talking about. Her latest heartthrob. I'd like to know more about you.
Well, there's really not much to know. What you see is what you get.
Oh, I think there's more to you than meets the eye, Mr. McAllister. My daughter tells me you don't approve of me.
I don't have anything against you personally, sir.
Just what I stand for? Is that it? Corporate greed? Environmental pirate raping the planet for profit? Isn't that about how you see me?
You said it, Mr. Colby.
You don't know anything about me, son. Just what the media feeds you. That isn't me. That's a cartoon with dollar signs drawn in the vest. Do you really buy all those knee-jerk liberal cliches?
I don't think dying birds and poisoned fish are knee-jerk cliches, Mr. Colby. Why don't we cut the bull? You didn't come down here to talk about the environment, did you?
No, I didn't. I came down here to find out what you want with my daughter.
You mean my intentions?
That's right.
Well, I'm not after her money, if that's what you think.
Her money doesn't worry me, but they tell me you're one of the honchos of this clean earth movement. Now, they're trying to stop my pipeline. If I find out you're just using my daughter to get to me, I'd take that very hard, son. Very hard.
Boy, for a minute, Mr. Colby, you had me fooled. I really thought you were worried about Bliss's welfare. Now I see you're just worried about your damn pipeline.
Oh, I'll build the pipeline. Don't make any mistake about that. I will also look after my daughter. She means a good deal to me. And if you think I can't manage both, you just watch me.
But you got the wrong Colby, Mr. Powers. You want to see my father? He's not in right now.
To the contrary. You're the man I came to see. May I call you Miles?
Certainly. How can I help you, Miss Powers?
Zach, please. I understand you're playing a major part in the Colby-Carrington pipeline deal, huh?
You understand wrong. That's my father's baby.
You're still the man I want to see. I've known Jason Colby for many years. A man of strong character and strong opinions. I am one of the people he has a particularly strong opinion about. Frankly, that's why I've come to see you.
Take a seat, won't you?
Thank you. I have a proposal here that could be very profitable for Colby Enterprises and Power Shipping. If your father would study the figures in here, he'd be the first to recognize that.
But he won't. Because it's your proposal. So you want me to act as the intermediary, that it?
Exactly.
Give me one good reason why I should.
Well, your father is going to be a very grateful man, eventually. If someone persuades him to consider this proposal seriously, whoever that is, I'm sure Jason Colby will think of him as a man of vision, imagination, courage even.
Don't try to soft-soap me, Zach. It won't work. I'll take a look at your proposal. I'll even recommend it, if it has merit.
Like father, like son, huh? That's good. That's good. I'll leave it in your hands, then.
Excuse me, Miles, but I got... Oh, I didn't know you were busy.
Oh, no problem. I was just leaving. Thanks for your time, Miles. Excuse me.
Miles, what was Zachary Powers doing here?
Came to see me.
About what?
That doesn't concern you.
Hey, pal, half of everything that goes on around here is my business.
This half isn't.
Does Jason know about this?
This is none of your damn business. This is between me and my father. So just butt out, Buster.
Well, I don't know, George. I think we need more spotlights.
I think it looks terrific, just the way it is, Miss Colby.
No, it's too dark, too murky.
Well, I think George is right. I like the sense of light and dark, the sense of mystery.
If you don't mind, Frankie, I know what I'm doing, and this is one place where I won't be dictated to.
It wasn't dictating, Sable. It was just an opinion.
Well, thank you. George, more spotlights.
Yes, Miss Colby.
This is my territory.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean...
I know what you meant, and I won't have any interference.
We're not talking about how to light a piece of sculpture, are we? Why don't you say what's really on your mind?
All right. My husband is a sound sleeper. He doesn't normally get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to drink champagne, but he hasn't had a moment's peace since your son invaded our lives. Now, you and Connie can conspire all you like. You can work on Jason about Jeff till the cows come home. But I will not let either of you destroy our lives.
Will you please listen to me? He doesn't mean anything. He's old-fashioned and he worries about me, that's all.
Old-fashioned? The man is practically medieval.
Well, don't take it so personally. It has nothing to do with you. He's just overly protective.
I didn't like being pushed around. He didn't even take 5 minutes to find out who I really am. Jason Colby, self-centered, egotistical,
wait,
self-serving.
That's my father you're talking about. He's a kind and generous man, and he happens to care about his family.
Before I ever met this man, I hated everything he stood for. Now I know why.
If you can't see that he came here out of love for me, Sean, then I am really sorry for you. My father is a wonderful man, and you're too biased to recognize it. Why don't you call me when you grow up?
Come, Bliss. What are we fighting for? Oh, we still love each other. That's all that counts, right?
It really hurts me when you talk about my father like that, Sean.
I'm sorry, baby. I don't care what he thinks about me. All I know is that I love you. I want you.
What do I think of it? With Zach Powers? Next time, check with me, Miles.
So much for trying to do something on my own.
Can't you see he was just trying to use your son to muscle into this project? You've got to learn to discriminate, to find out who you're dealing with. You'll be running this place one of these days.
Who are you kidding? You said it yourself at your press conference. There's only one man at the helm. Jason Colby.
Miles. Miles! What is it?
It's Mrs. Hamilton on line 1. She says it's important.
Francesca.
Jason, excuse me for interrupting. I need to tell you...
Is something wrong?
I'm leaving.
Leaving? Where?
I'm going back to London.
When?
As soon as I can get a reservation.
You're not going anywhere until I see you. So what happened?
Coming back here was a mistake. I came to be with Jeff, to get to know him again, and I can see now you can't turn back the clock. I feel so foolish, superfluous.
So you're just going to pack it in?
Maybe there's some fences that just can't be mended. I think Sable would be relieved if I went too.
Never mind, Sable. You came here for Jeff. You were right. He needs you.
You can't force someone to accept your love, no matter how much you want it.
If I asked you to, would you stay?
That's just making it worse, Jason. But I promise not to give you the runaround next time you call me in London.
May not be next time. I'm fighting time.
You've said that before. What do you mean, fighting time?
Frankie, stay. Please.
There's something wrong, isn't there?
No, I just don't like the idea of you running out on us again. Stay a while longer. Just a little while. That's all I'm asking.
Please cancel my attorney. Tell him I got caught up with the interior decoration, and I'll call him when I get back to the office. Thank you.
Excuse me, Mrs. Colby. I found this in your husband's pocket. You may want it.
Thank you, Denise. You can take Mr. Colby's things now. Dr. Boland, my assessment of data on patient Jason Colby. Confirmation of laboratory reports. Gradual deterioration. 6 months at most.
Good afternoon, Mr. Colby. Dr. Boland is waiting for you in the library.
Dr. Boland here?
Yes, sir, with another gentleman.
Let's see. Where's Mrs. Colby?
Well, I believe, sir, that she is upstairs, changing for dinner.
All right. I'm not at home for the next half hour.
Yes, sir.
Morris?
Afternoon, Jason. This is Oliver Baines.
Mr. Colby, this is truly an honor.
Mr. Baines, or is it Doctor?
Oliver is the hospital's chief legal counsel.
Legal counsel? What do you want with a lawyer?
Jason, I don't know how to say this to you. We just heard from Dr. Bollinger in Geneva. He's discovered a discrepancy.
Discrepancy?
An inconsistency in the blood analysis. A computer error. Bollinger caught it.
They say it has something to do with memory access error. What they call a bug in the software. A glitch. It happens, Mr. Colby.
So? What's that to do with me?
According to our computer engineers, every time they ran a check on your readout, the error detection and correction operation, what they call EDAC, well, it wasn't functioning properly.
I don't speak computerese. Talk human to me. This is my life. What are you trying to tell me about it?
Jason has been giving us data on one Jasper Colburn. Not Jason Colby. Not you. There's nothing wrong with you.
You're telling me I'm not dying?
Jason, you're not ill. It's all been a terrible mistake.
No wonder you brought a lawyer. I knew a man made a mistake once. We were hunting in Kenya. He picked up my rifle. This one. Big gun. Put a hole in a man as big as your fist. It was pointing right at me. Blew my hat right off my head, scared the hell out of me. He never checked to see if it was loaded. I don't hunt with that man now. That's the rule. Always. You pick up a gun. You check first. Mistakes can cost a lot.
I want to make the hospital's position perfectly clear, Mr. Colby. This is strictly a computer error. No individual was at fault.
Is that right? I always figure if I pick it up, I gotta carry it. Never mind, Mr. Baines. You can tell your board of directors they have nothing to worry about.
You're not going to,
Sue? What for? I'm not dying, right? Of course, I wouldn't come around asking for a contribution anytime soon if I were you. As for you, Morris, you just gave me back my life. What about a drink?
Oh, Jason. Oh, thank God. I went half out of my mind when I read that doctor's report.
It's all over now, sweetheart. You'll have to put up with me for a while longer.
Why didn't you tell me?
I wanted to wait until I was sure one way or the other.
How long have you known?
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks? I mean, you carried that dreadful fear around with you for 3 weeks and you didn't tell me.
Well, it seemed unfair to burden you.
Burden me, darling. I'm your wife. I'm here to share with you. If not me, who?
I wanted to tell you. I kept putting it off, hoping for a reprieve, so I wouldn't have to tell you. I even started a letter to you.
I let Connie knew, didn't she? Oh, Jason, why am I always the last to know? Why do you always shut me out? You won't share your life with me. You don't even share your death as if I don't even exist. My darling Sable, the good doctors have told me I've got very little time. There's so much I've left undone. So much left unsaid. Most of all, I want you to know how very much I love you. How much I cherish the years we've had together. Oh, Jason. Oh, thank God it isn't true. Oh, thank God for you. But from now on, no more secrets. We must promise each other that. No more secrets. Never, ever again. No more secrets. Oh.